Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gru. And on Gru today, we're going to be talking to someone who's in the new horror movie called Wrong Turn, Adrian Favela. So we'll be joining shortly with him and talk about some horror and Wrong Turn, and we'll have some fun. It's going to be a fun interview, so we're going to get started right now. Okay, we're good. All right. Welcome to Gru. Thank you for being on the show.
Yep, of course. Thank you for having me. It's great to finally get this going.
Exactly. Exactly. Wanted to ask you, like, how did you get your start in this world of acting, and what made you want to get into it?
Actually, it's kind of like a long story. When I was living in Hawaii with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there was scam, like you're gonna be a star type of
Oh, I
things,
know.
and of course I had no idea what it was. And they came up to me and they're like, "Do you want to be a movie star?" And I was like, "Of course." They're like, "We work with Disney Channel and all of this," and I was like, "Yeah." And of course, it was a scam, and they scammed my family out of like tons of money. But I actually fell in love with the business after that. So it was something that was like behind my mind throughout like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved out to LA when I was 17, pursuing actually photography and just acting on the side. And I ended up landing a role um, in a short film with SJ Main that ended up campaigning for the Oscars years later. And yeah, that's really where like my career became more serious, where I was like, this is something I can actually do besides like, that kid in the mall thinking he's going to be on Disney Channel just because somebody in a kiosk told me I was going to be on the movie, or.
Oh man, there's so many scams, and you
Yeah,
have to watch like who's real and who's not,
right.
especially with this line of work, acting. There's so many scams. Like you get so many letters and emails and saying, "Oh, click here, and we'll have you working on like on Saved by the Bell, Riverdale, whatever." It's like,
It's so true.
so what was your first like role where you had lines, like your first speaking role in acting?
The first time that I had something bigger was definitely Requiescat, which was a Western film, the one I was just talking about with S.J.
Hmm.
Main. That was my first, kick at, being a real actor. But before that, I had like done a ton of like background work and, just trying to like see sets and like see how people work. It's a lot different to see like the actors you admire in real life doing what they're doing
Yeah.
compared to being able to excuse me, on TV, Yeah.
Oh. So what what the short film you were just talking about, what was the film about, and what was your role in it?
So the film is called Requiescat, and it was a remake of a film that was actually made in the 1800s. It's a black and white silent film, and
Wow.
it was about, it's a John Steinbeck story about a kid who lives, out in the mountains with his family. He
Hmm.
lost his dad, and his mom is trying to get him to grow up a little. So she sends him out into the city to go get medicine. She just wants him to like, just try to like grow up a little. And he ends up going, and he gets into like a little quarrel and ends up accidentally killing somebody.
Oh.
So it's really brutal, and it becomes a manhunt. And it's just a really brutal tale of growing up way too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was an eye for an eye. So, all those guys are out hunting him, and he's just trying to, be himself, which is really, really sad. It was a brutal story. There's no happy ending. But it was a really cool experience. It was the first time I got a shot at like a big drama.
Wow.
So really blessed to work with SJ. She's now part of the Academy of Motion Picture and Arts, which is really cool. She was I think she went in 2019 or 2020, as a only Latina film director that got invited in. So it was really cool. It's a really big deal, like for
Oh
her.
wow, yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And how what what have you been doing during like this whole mess, this virus, and has it stopped your work at all, like getting roles and all that?
Yeah, it's actually been really slow. So I had wrapped up Wrong Turn, which is out now, and I went just on like a little trip, and by the time I came back in January, things started like moving along where they're like, oh, there's a big virus happening. So
Hmm.
things started shutting down really quick. And I had been auditioning like a little bit, and then everything shut down. And it's been like pretty shut down for a while. So right now it's so hard to land roles, especially on shows, unless you were on them before.
Oh wow.
So I mean, it's a tricky industry right now. We're just kind of like hanging tight, like waiting for like a good moment. Because I
Hmm.
mean, ultimately, when you're on set, there's like you get onto set and there's tons of people touching you. You know what I mean? They're like super close. You're getting like people are dressing you. They're doing your makeup. They're doing your hair. All of it. The director's talking to you here. So it's really tricky for us to go back to work and not get sick. You know?
Yeah, true, true. You're right about
Yeah.
that. Damn, wow. And I saw you did like another short called I Scream, is it? I Scream?
Yeah, that was one of my very very first films ever, and yeah, I've actually never even seen that movie.
Okay.
It was like I had just moved to LA, I auditioned for it, and they're like, "Great, you're perfect for it." And I was like, "All right, great, let's go." We were like shooting in this like garden, I remember, and there was like bees. There was like tons of bees there,
Oh
and it was
no.
a crazy experience. I remember like they were like bringing like all the equipment in, and I was like, "Hey guys, like I know I'm overstepping my bounds here, but there's like a beehive over there. Just a heads up." And they're like, "No, no, no, we're just gonna film here. It's gonna be great." I was like, "Cool." And so I like go back to my spot, and lo and behold, everybody just starts getting stung like crazy. Like the cameraman, everybody, because it's machinery around bees, and the bees are obviously reacting. But
Yeah.
that film, it was supposed to be a horror film, and yeah, the director, we shot everything, and just never sent me anything. It happens in LA all the time, you know.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, you think you're gonna do something really cool, and then you never hear back. So
Okay.
yeah.
And and it looks like you were on set for the Spite SpiderMan. And
Yes.
did you get a chance to meet like Tom Holland and stuff?
No, I actually was part of a little scene where Zendaya was there. But yeah, that was another learning lesson. Like, sometimes things get cut. And, I was really pumped about that. I was like, yeah, I'm in the new Spider-Man. And like, I brought all my friends to the theater, and I found out that entire chunk of scene got cut. And I was like, all right, well, cool. I mean, there's so many learning lessons in like humility in like this industry. You like,
Mhm.
sometimes you think you're really gonna do something and then it doesn't turn out, or like it doesn't happen. But the cool thing is like it teaches you like resilience. Like you gotta like get up, you gotta keep going, and just like keep dreaming. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow. I mean, that had to still be cool just being like on set for one of those films.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like the first like major set that I was on, and
Hmm.
there's tons of people, and like the production value was like insane. Like the crew, I mean, you can always tell how big the production is with how big the crew is, and the
Yeah.
crew was insane. Like there was like an insane amount of people there. So it was cool. It was a really cool experience just to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. And well, you're in a new horror film, and before we talk about that, I wanted to ask you if you're a horror fan, and if you are, like, what are some of your top horror films of all time?
So I am a horror
Okay.
fan.
Okay.
uh, some of my favorite. Okay, right now I'm really kicking on like Ari Aster, so I'm really into like Midsommar and like
Mm,
Hereditary. Those like really like deep psychological ones.
yeah.
Of course, I love like the first Conjuring. that one was like, that one just like ripped the face off of everybody. It was like, oh my God, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And I also really love the new It movies. I just feel like these kids
Yes.
are so freaking talented. Like even the first one, I was just like, oh my God, these kids are crazy, So I'm just loving all those right now.
I
I'm I'm trying to find access to like Martyrs. I seen that a super long time ago, and it was definitely one of those movies where you're like peeking through because it's just so messed up. But I haven't seen it so long, so I'm just like, I need to rewatch this. I got to find what made it so scary.
hmm Yeah, I remember seeing that film like a while back, and it was in just crazy, like crazy,
It,
crazy film. Um, now you're in the new film of Wrong Turn, and did you ever watch any of the old Wrong Turn films to get get ready for this movie?
so I had seen the first one a long time ago. I think it was like 10 when it came out, and I had watched it with my dad, and I was just like horrified. Like I remember the scene like so clearly when like um, the backwoods person like picks up the body and starts chopping it, and I remember just being like, "Oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen." So I remember those. So when I had seen the title, I was like, "Oh my God, I think I've seen that movie." And
hmm
yeah, I mean, I did the audition without like rewatching anything. It was like a really intense audition where it was like a lot of like action happening, like contraptions and like snakes and like screaming and high like intensity. So I
Oh
just really
wow.
just like, on finding that within myself first for the audition. And luckily, which was really cool, I booked it on the first try
Sweet.
off the tape, which was such a blessing. And I was so thankful to the director and like Nancy Nayer, who brought me on. But yeah, after I had booked, I was like, all right, I need to watch all of these movies, like to capture the essence of like what people are looking for, in a reboot. So it was cool. Yeah, I did watch a couple of them. I didn't watch all of them. I watched up to 3, I think.
Okay, but yeah, there's a lot of
There are a lot of them.
them. Yeah, I thought I was going to ask you if this film is part of the series or if it's like a brand new film straight from the start.
So this is a brand new reimaginement. And I think that's the tricky part because there are a lot of diehard Wrong Turn fans looking for
Yeah.
like Three Fingers, and all of these like OG characters. They're looking for them. And the tricky thing is Alan B. McElroy, who wrote the original,
Mhm.
decided to like turn it on its head and make it more human and something that could really happen in real life in modern day America.
Yeah.
I think that's really what's cool about it. I think if you're going in thinking, all right, I'm ready for some like cannibals, I don't know if you're gonna get that, you know what I mean? But you are gonna get the in-your-face gore. You're gonna get like the real-life horrors. You're gonna see some like crazy stunts, crazy contraptions. So it's definitely a wild ride for sure.
Oh, nice, nice. That's so awesome. How did you wind up hearing uh about the Wrong Turn film? Like, how did you know to go or audition for it?
So my reps actually sent it through. It's crazy because I had just signed with a new manager, and she was like, okay, cool. Like she's like, let's see like what you can do. And it was my first audition with her, so I was just like, all right, I gotta kill this. I gotta, I can't disappoint. So I had just signed with her, and we got that audition, and we booked off of the first tape, like I was saying. So it was like a perfect moment. It was like meant to be. It was like made my manager really happy. It was great for like the director and casting, and it was great for me because it was like my first big horror film.
Nice. And playing a horror role, especially for someone like being chased and stuff, like you have
Yeah.
to get into like a certain mind frame to play that. Like, how did you get yourself ready to play such a role like the role you played in Wrong Turn?
It was really tricky. The first thing that I did was I just sat and watched tons of horror films, like nonstop, just like horror film after horror film. and I wanted to see like what worked. You know what I mean? Like what, what made you actually feel like, and
Yeah.
then what things made you go like, oh, that was so cheesy. You know what I mean? I wanted to see like all of it. Because it's like I was like, all right, I need to like, how do I like, figure out what works and attach it to myself. You know what I mean? And so I really did that originally, and then I just tried to find like the real life horrors in my own life and tried to
Hmm.
like, you know, blow them up to like the expanse of something that Luis, the character, is going through. I mean, obviously, I hope none of us will ever go through anything that Luis goes through. But, you want to like try to find things within yourself to like make it real. You know what I mean? Like my idea behind it was like, not only did I want you to see the horror, I wanted you to feel it, and I wanted you to get like pulled in by the emotions too. You know what I mean? I didn't want people
Hmm.
just to like feel like, oh yeah, that happened. I wanted people to feel like that's shocking, and I care about that character, so that this is bad. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, and for fans who don't know about the Wrong Turn movies or this new one, can you tell us what the new Wrong Turn is all about?
So the new Wrong Turn is the basic skeleton of Wrong Turn. It's a group of friends that go out into the wilderness, and we're out there for like a life trip for supporting one of our friends. We're just like, all right, cool. Like Luis and his partner, they are bistro owners in New York. Everybody's from like, different parts of like the world, and they're all like pretty successful, like young, cool millennial types.
Yeah, yeah.
And they go out into the woods and they start getting like forewarnings of people that live out in the woods, and they're just like, don't go out there. And I mean, of course, we're like from New York, so we're just like, yeah, whatever, like it happened. And we go off the path and we run into the Foundation, which is a group of people who separated themselves from society in the 1800s, I think, and they created their own society with their own laws and their own rules. They're self-sustaining. They're very like barbaric type, but they only believe their own laws. So it becomes like a battle of like who's right and like who's wrong.
Hmm.
They might be looking at us like we're barbaric, but we're looking at them thinking they're barbaric only because we believe different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really cool, interesting thing to like think about. You know, I mean, they're only following what they know, and we're only following what we know.
You're right.
So at the end of the day, who's right and who's wrong as things unfold. I won't tell you too much,
Oh wow. No, no, no. That sounds really, really good. And tell us like what you thought of the person you play in the film, and you have a love interest in the film, and tell us all about your character.
So Luis is actually a gay character.
Hmm.
He has a partner named Gary in the film, which I think is really cool. We don't always get to see like gay characters in horror often,
Exactly.
what I mean? Or it's either like so heightened that it's like almost comical. But the way it was written was we were written like normal characters, which I really appreciate. I think it's something that's important to
Hmm.
represent. You know, all LGBT people aren't the same, so there has to be like different levels. But yeah, so they own Bistro New York. They come out. They're like definitely more of like the fancier types. They're they're very like clean cut, but they go out into the woods and they run into the Foundation. And the cool thing about it that I really loved is we get to see like men unravel
Hmm.
like just as much as women do in the film. I think it represents both types. You know what I mean? Just to see like people starting to break down, which I think is really special. You don't always get to see that, especially in horror.
Yeah, exactly.
We always see like the man, like an example, like somebody gets like hung onto like a meat hook, and the
Hmm.
guy, oh, it hurts. You know what I mean? But the way it was written is like we get to like see and experience like the fears between the couples, which is really cool.
Hmm. Nice, nice. And the the thing I like about this is the person you play in the film, like you were saying in horror, like they tend to shy away from from gay characters or gay horror. And if they do a gay horror or a gay character, they make them over the top, like
Right.
over the top flamboyant, and not every like gay man is flamboyant.
Right.
And they always go to that role when they cast someone gay in a film. And it's really cool now to see like more horror films are starting to cast like more characters that are gay for 'cause, like um I run a horror site, and a lot of a lot of the fans that follow my site are gay males, and they're always messaging me and telling me, oh, we don't like how they made that person look in this movie. And like it's good to see like more horror films are casting like gay characters in the film.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree on that. I think that the diverse representation is important. And I think Wrong Turn really does that in a really cool way. And I think it also invites, like, real life horrors. Like in the film, we actually deal with homophobia and we deal with racism, and it's in modern America. This isn't like set in a different time. This is like supposed to be set today.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it brings those like real life horrors that are happening to people every single day today, and I think that's really special about the film.
Nice. I don't know if you could give too much away or anything, but what scene did you like the best, and what kill did you like the best, if you're allowed to say that?
Oh, it's so tricky with the kills because I can't say the kills, but there are some like really brutal kills. I will definitely say, and
Hmm.
the cool thing that I'm excited to see more people's reaction because we had like a limited release with COVID. We can't encourage people to go to the movie theaters because with COVID, it's a little dangerous. You
Yeah.
know, not a little, it's actually really dangerous. So yeah, when people see more of it, I'm excited to see how they react to the kills. Because with
Okay.
our kills, we actually like, I mean, kills are brutal and they're very in your face. Mike P. Nelson gives a very just, you see what happens. It's not like, some like horror films, they flash it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just like, no, it stops and then you see like the aftermath of like what happened, but then you also get the aftermath of like how the characters feel about that. So
Oh,
I'm really, really excited to hear more about what people think. I've heard like mixed reviews. I mean, some people are like really like, or just really looking for like the blood smash and then run, and
hmm.
then some people were just like, oh, this is even more brutal because we feel how you guys actually feel during these moments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there's really cool kills. There's like amazing, huge contraptions. We had like an amazing stunt team like with us. A lot of them did like huge like Marvel movies and stuff like
Really?
that. Yeah, oh, as you can see from the trailer, there's a giant log that we worked with, you
Hmm.
know. So I mean, it's cool stuff. It's definitely cool stuff. You're gonna see some things, and oh, the chain. There was a chain in there in the
Yes.
trailer.
Yes.
That I mean, that whole bit was insane because they actually dragged somebody like completely full speed into a pit. It
Oh,
was crazy. It was like, oh, it was like raining outside, and we are just like, all right, today we're gonna do this. And there was a real snake on set for that too. And I mean, they didn't let us come anywhere near it,
oh, okay.
but yeah, it was crazy. There were some big stunts that happened. Yeah. Actually, we even went into Hocking Hills, which is this like crazy like mountain park or something, where there's like huge rocks and boulders and like caves and stuff. And we were driving down. It was like literally the middle of the night, and they were driving me down to set, and they had this huge setup for a stunt where they just like ripped this like stunt double straight off of the rock and into a pit. It was like insane. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. That was definitely probably the biggest stunt for sure. I wish I got to like sit around and watch it, but like I had to go to a different set, and I was like, all right, bye guys. So there's cool stuff. There's definitely cool stuff. I can't wait for you to get like for you guys to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that sounds brutal.
Yeah.
And I saw I was looking at who's cast, and I see that you have like a couple vets in it. Matt Modine
Modine,
and
yeah.
Dan Mafia, right?
Damien Mafe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's the man in the mask. He's so cool. He's like the most humble, like chill, awesome guy of all time. I love that guy.
nice. How was it like working with that's like Matt Modine? Like that guy's been in so many films.
Yeah. You know, it's always like nerve wracking for sure. I was definitely the guy with the least credits rolling in. So everybody had their own shows, you know, their own like movies. Like I think Matt Modine was nominated for a Golden Globe or he won one. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I was just like, oh, you know, I'm coming in kind of as like a noob. So it was a little nerve wracking, but everybody was just so awesome and like sweet, and you know they were in it with me throughout the entire way. Like nobody made me feel like an outcast or anything, so it was great.
Nice.
You never know.
Was there? Sorry, my dog is barking over
I know.
there. Any funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happen on set that stand out to you the most that you want to share?
Oh, um, yeah. So actually, there's a scene where I'm supposed to be like eating, you know, like a spider or something. I have to like eat like a bug, right? And
Okay.
so I was like, all right, cool. They're gonna make like a, you know, like bug candy or something like weird. And I was like, all right, cool. Just like, let's do it. And the props people who are my really good friends, Stephanie and Brian, they come up with a real tarantula that like was made into jerky. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wait. Like, this is like a real thing. I was like, all right, cool. She's like, all right, so these are what you have options for. It was like a bunch of grubs that were like dried out and seasoned so they didn't taste bad. And then there was a real tarantula and I forgot something else. And I was just like, okay, cool. I'm like, I read it in the script. I know this is supposed to happen. So, all right, rock and roll, let's do this. So I open up the tarantula, open up the little pack, and I'm like, I'm just going to take a piece of it and eat it. So when I get to set, on the day I could do it. I won't like gag. You know what I mean? I'll know what to expect. So I
Hmm.
take it, I eat it. It's like gross. It just tastes like a big ball of hair. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, yeah, we can do it. I'm not gonna eat anymore, but let's get to set. So we get to set, and on the day, so on the moment we're about to shoot, Mike comes over and he's like, "Oh no, you're not gonna eat that. You're actually gonna eat this mushroom." I'm like, "What? I just ate a real spider right now to prepare for this." So yeah, on the day, I'm just eating a mushroom instead of actual spider.
Oh my God, that's
But I
crazy.
ate it anyways. I've eaten a tarantula now.
Oh my God. What would you like when fans go and see this movie, the Wrong Turn movie? What would you like fans to take from seeing this film?
I definitely want fans to go in with an open mind to a new perspective. You know, we're flipping everything on its head. So if you're going just for the cannibals, it's not that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Go in with an open mind, open heart, and like really jump into the story with the characters. We jump in really fast. It's a really fast-paced movie. But if you jump in and catch up, it's a really great film. You know, just take any preconceived notion that you already have, just like let it go and just be
Mm-hmm.
open. And it's actually really good.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. And what do you do for fun when you're not acting?
Oh man, dude, not a lot lately because of COVID.
Oh yeah.
I actually, you know, I play a lot of video games actually, which is something new to me. I never played video games before, but
Really?
yeah, I we got into quarantine and I was like, all right, cool, just like reading a couple books like every day. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, and then after that, I was like, all right, I got to do something. You know, I got to like stimulate my mind. So I got a Switch, Nintendo Switch,
Yeah.
and I just started playing games on there. I've been playing a lot of like Fortnite lately, Pokemon.
Nice, nice,
So,
nice.
super nerdy now, but it's cool.
Are there are there any hidden talents that you have that fans might not know about?
I'm actually before I was an actor, I was actually a fashion photographer.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm a published fashion photographer. I was doing that for a while, and that's like my secret gift. So when I started doing like my press run and stuff, and they needed photos, I was just like, I'm gonna do my own photos and save a couple bucks.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, that's my hidden talent.
Okay, okay, that's really cool.
Thank
Nice.
you.
And what what junk food do you like the best?
Oh man, lately, dude, root beer is like my favorite thing of all time.
Nice.
I root beer, and like it's so tricky because like when I'm on sets, like I have to drink everything diet. And like the biggest thing actually when I was on set for Wrong Turn, they always brought me Diet Sunkist because it was my favorite thing at the time. Every day I always had like a stack of Diet Sunkist in my trailer. I was like, yeah. Currently it's root beer. I'm just like living for root beer. Like every like afternoon I'm like, I might have a root beer.
All right, there you go. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's great. It tastes great too.
Yeah.
Uh, is there anything coming out next besides Wrong Turn that you want to push or plug or?
Yeah, I actually have another film coming out called Under the Stadium Lights, where I get to play alongside Lawrence Fishburne. And it's
Oh,
a really cool cast. There's Noel G is in it, Milo Gibson, really cool people. And there's Jermaine Arroyo, who is also on one of your shows as well.
oh
So
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
he's in Ratchet. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, so we all get to play in that. So that'll be coming out, I believe, in June. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Isn't he one of your friends?
Yeah, me and him are really good friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we met on set for Under the Stadium Lights, and we really kicked it off. We shot that in like two parts. We shot like in like the first time we shot for like a month or two, and then we took a break, and then we went back after like I think like a year, and then
Oh,
shot another half. So I mean, our relationship was like really long at that point. You know what I mean? We knew each other for a year, and we found out he lived not too far from me, and we just started hanging out a lot.
oh wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's Isn't that really cool? Like when you go to film like a film or a TV series, and the people you meet on set sometimes become like really close friends.
Yeah, it's like I always call it. It's because you're creating this thing off of a page, like creating an imaginary world where
Hmm.
you and your castmates get to play in. Like you get to live in this crazy world that nobody else will experience, that only get to see. So sometimes you really make really special connections between them.
Yeah,
So it's really
exactly.
cool. I love that aspect.
Yeah, that seems really, really, really fun just to go on set and meet a lot of new people, and then you when you leave the show or the film, they're your friends for life.
Yeah.
Um, where can fans find you at online?
You can find me on Instagram at Adrian Richard Favela. It's a little tricky because there's another guy named Adriel Favela. I'm not Adriel. I am Adrian Favela.
Yes, I saw that when I was looking up
Yeah,
you for questions. I was like, wait, this isn't him.
it's not me.
Okay, buddy. Thank you so much for being a guest on Gru today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we were finally able to do this.
I know, right? Exactly. All right, buddy. Have a good day, man.
All right, you too.
Bye.